Hey babes, I'm Alexis.
And I'm Lanette.
And this is Getting the D After Dark.
Nighttime, people.
Nighttime in our sweats. We finally gave into the sweats thing. You know, that happens a lot with the podcasts these days.
It's also like 10 p.m. So we're just doing a little sleepover edition.
Feeling this. I'm feeling the sweatshirt.
I actually really like it. I'm super comfortable.
Yeah, so if we just continue this, it's okay.
I do like getting glam, but
Same.
This is a vibes.
It's vibes. So it's an exciting week. Lanette is going on her first solo trip.
Yay!
And it's Europe. It's not even, it's like a huge one.
I know. I contemplated going to like an island or something, but I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just go. I love seeing other cities and exploring other cities. And as I've talked about before, I love like food and culture and stuff. And so I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I want to immerse myself alone in another culture and just see like, what am I like?
What am I like alone?
No, like, what am I like? Like, what are my interactions with other people? Because with my ex, like, he would plan everything. And I would kind of be like, following his example, like following his lead, and just like also be there. So I don't know. I think it's just going to be like really interesting to be like, oh, who is Lanette
navigating
on this
the whole thing by yourself?
Yeah,
yeah.
Like language barriers. Like I don't know. Somebody was like, "Are you nervous?" And I'm like, I don't know.
You can't think about it too much. You can't think about it too much.
Yeah. Were you nervous?
I was initially, but then when I got there, I was like, oh, I'm chilling. Like, I'm good.
I think I'm going to vibe the fuck out.
Yeah. I was like, this is everything. I need to do this every year.
I have plans of like drinking port wine. I'm going to Porto. Drinking port wine, eating cheese, reading a book in a park.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
you should. It's so liberating to be alone somewhere.
I can't wait.
And people actually just treat you so much better.
Alone?
Yeah. They're
How come?
I think they're just like, they know you're alone, especially like wait staff and stuff. They just want to like make you feel as comfortable as possible.
That's nice.
And like,
yeah. And as a girl.
Where
did you go alone?
Turks and Caicos.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know you went to like Italy and some other places.
Yeah. Spain, France.
Right.
I definitely was eat, praying, and love in the past couple years.
For sure.
For sure. But that was like my one solo trip. Little different than yours. I went to like just like a resort and vibed out by the pool and the beach.
But still though.
Yeah. To like navigate an airport to go and like
the airport. Wait, it's the airport that's sending me a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Okay.
You'll be more than okay.
So.
It's a direct flight.
I'm very smart. I don't know like why I act like I like can't
smart.
do this.
It's a direct flight and it's not that long.
And it's Newark, which I've been into 5,000 times.
Okay. Well, that's exciting.
My feet like actually really are out though. I feel like I like should hide them.
Oh, I forgot about the feet thing.
I know. Okay.
Lanette is giving feet for free right now.
No free feet. We have to
adjust.
We have to put them down.
But honestly, I did look into Feet Finder at one point and
no, as did I.
because these arches do deserve to shine. But you know.
Let me see. Ooh, slay. Yeah, see?
Yeah. They look a little crazy right now.
I think we could monetize these feet, but it's just a very saturated market.
Yeah, it's too saturated. I know people have like a thing, but I think it's like done.
Here's my thing. I don't have a feet thing, so I don't think I can ever understand what the consumer is looking for.
Correct. Like,
do you know?
want to get
I feel like a liar.
Here goes the marketing side of you. You want to like get in the mind of the consumer.
Like, I want to know, like, what are you looking for? And if I don't have the passion for the feet, how can I sell you the feet?
Have you ever been with a guy who's into feet?
No. Have you?
Yes.
I don't think I would hate it unless they were like obsessed. Like, it always had to be about the feet.
Oh, no. He wasn't like that. But he very much like enjoyed feet. Not like the whole time, every time.
Put a toe up my butt.
No, not to that level. It was like in a sensual way, I guess you could say. It wasn't like too much.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll keep it reluctantly PG right now.
I was just about to not.
I mean, what do you want to say? What do you want to ask?
No. We'll wait.
We can dive into that dating part.
Have you ever had your toes sucked though? Okay.
Oh yeah. That I feel like that's not.
See, that's when I'm like, am I into feet?
We said it's after dark, folks. So
I digress.
now we're talking about sucking on toes.
Wait, it's very like warm and just it feels nice.
It's kind of lovely. I wouldn't voluntarily be like suck my toes, but I feel like if a guy's just like in the moment, I'd be like, oh.
If a toe finds its way into someone's mouth, I'm like, go off.
Go off, King. Do your thing.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't hate it as much as I want to.
Right. Totally. Okay. Well, veering off course a little bit.
Anyway.
The last episode we kind of alluded. It was fun. We loved the last episode.
Yeah,
it was a fun little.
We needed something lighthearted.
We needed light, keeping it real cute and light last time. But this time we're diving in a little bit more again. And this D word is detachment. Yes. So it's a big one and it's layered in a lot of ways.
And I think people like to like throw detachment around. Like I feel like it's one of those words that recently is very thrown around, like very similarly to trauma. Like everyone has trauma, detachment. Everyone should detach. How do I detach?
Gaslighting. There's so many words out there that are like triggering, used constantly.
Right. Yeah. But we want to chat about like what detachment looks like for us and kind of our experiences with it and what is it, not detaching from the marriage necessarily, but kind of the mindset of detachment and realizing that, control is not even real. Like that's,
Yeah, but we're like brought up with so many women usually that like teach us control, right? And we're like,
oh, I'm a control freak.
Oh, yeah, like we need to be in control because like we've mentioned like to each other, it's a safety net. It's a form of keeping ourselves safe and just setting us up for what we think is success, but really we're not consciously realizing like that we're kind of trying to take control about everything.
Yeah, like I mean control is an anxiety thing. Yeah. Right? It's like I don't want whatever this thing is to happen, so I'm going to try and control the situation and like literally that's anxiety.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So detachment is not doing that.
It's it's realizing you're not going to control every outcome. Right. Especially at least for me and getting married, I felt as though if I set myself up that way, it would be like I would be secure and it would be okay. And that was my safety net. And it was for some time, but I also feel like I wasn't consciously making decisions to like really ask myself what I wanted. I think obviously mentioned that before. But realizing that this wasn't going to be my life anymore, especially when I decided to get a divorce, like that control, like letting that control go is enough to drive you crazy thinking like, oh, this is going to be my life forever. Or at least you tell yourself that.
Well, right. Yeah. You have kind of a narrative made up in your head. Like you have a reality that you're doing. You're doing it.
And I did it. And I did it well. Yeah. And I think you did too. Yeah, and I think we were like, we found this nice guy and then we did all the things, got married, got the dog, got the house, like et cetera, et cetera. And like, I feel like you tell yourself, listen, there were really a lot of moments of happiness for me. But at some time you're like, oh, I'm choosing to be out of control now and detach and realize like, am I going to be okay?
Yeah.
And you tend to distract or you tend to latch on to things maybe that.
Yeah. Like unhealthy things. So we're going to talk about detachment versus distraction and what is actual detachment and what is just distracting yourself from doing the work and from actually detaching. And getting a divorce, you do totally lose all of that control. And going into it, you're like, oh, I have absolutely no idea what my future is going to look like now.
Yep.
And to accept that and move forward and kind of be okay with it is fucking hard.
It is so hard.
Like I have realized, and I think we've touched on this briefly before, but you try and control the things that you can control. Like I go to the gym a lot. Like I control my body. I control what food I put in my body. I like clean a lot so that I can control my environment. And I mean, that's not practicing healthy detachment, honestly. But I know that, those are distractions.
Yes. But also there could be worse ones.
No, I mean, oh yeah, I could be like binge drinking and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Which,
but
yeah, a lot of people typically do.
Yes, and I completely understand that.
Yeah, like that. That happens.
Yeah.
And I think it's realizing that you're not like everything you're told your whole life. This is success. Like doing what we did, and it can very much be.
Sure.
And then choosing to dismantle that and like destroy that in a sense. Feeling that out of control is not something, you know, it wasn't on my bingo card.
Something that's very important when you talk about detachment or think about detachment is that it is a surrender of control, but it's also trusting the universe, trusting yourself that you're gonna make good decisions and put yourself in situations where you're going to find success again.
Yeah.
And those things can be so hard because you're so scared, but I mean, that's what it is. And honestly, surrendering and trusting yourself oh my God, it's so beautiful once you do it.
Yeah.
Like, there have been times that I've had to say to myself, like, you're really anxious about this, but can you just trust yourself that you're going to do the right thing and that you're going to make good choices and that you're going to make your life whatever you wanted? And I don't know. It's a really beautiful, like, detachment has really fostered a beautiful relationship with myself.
Yeah, no, it's hard because you also learn the styles of it, right? Like the anxious and avoidant and like how do we handle attachment and realizing that they go hand in hand, obviously. So that's like a whole other world of it. And just realizing that we're not going to ever be in full control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I come from a place of, in my marriage, like very anxious attachment. I mean, I've been anxiously attached since childhood just because of like people coming in and out of my life and being an only child with parents that work a lot, like always wanting to please everyone and satisfy everyone and, you know, fearing abandonment, you know, and we'll talk about daddy issues, but like having like a couple dads and whatever. So I was very anxiously attached to my ex, and that makes detachment even weirder and even harder because you have to kind of retrain your brain. Like, even if people abandon you, or even if people leave you, or even if situations don't turn out the way that you think they're going to, the way you think they should, the way you want them to, you're okay. Like, you are okay. You will always be okay. Yeah. And one of my, like, the newer things that I've kind of been telling myself, or even like saying, I say this to patients at work sometimes, is like, you're going to be okay because what's the other option? Yeah. Like, you freak out and break down, like, no, you're gonna be okay because you have yourself, and that's the choice, you know.
Yeah. What do you think you did, like, in those moments where you, like, that helped you detach? Like, there, I mean, we can sit here and be like meditation and journaling, and listen, they really are super, super helpful.
Everybody like knows that though, you know, like,
yeah, like the self-help kind of stuff. Yeah. And I think it's really also like taking people off a pedestal too, like people that like you had so high in your life for so long. Yeah. And even in my case, like he had me on that pedestal too, right? And then I let him down. But just realizing you're going to be okay, like you said before. Like it's once you take them off, it just like gives you that power back, and you're like, everyone is just human, everyone's just trying their best. And I mean, again, my situation, it was a little bit tough, like with me choosing to do that and leave.
Even in the decision to go, there is a lot of detachment work that you have to do, because if I wanted to continue being anxiously attached, or if I didn't want to learn how to healthy detach, then I would have just stayed forever, because that's what's comfortable. That's where you're secure. That's where, you know, you don't have anxiety. And so even the decision to leave and trust yourself that you're going to be okay, like that is a humongous practice in detachment.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I appreciate you saying that. Yeah. No, it's the truth. I think when I made the decision, I didn't even think about it in that moment consciously about, oh, I have to trust myself that this is going to be okay.
Yeah.
I just remember my head spinning like every day.
Yeah.
And being like, oh my God, like, did I just blow up, like ruin my life? Like, am I going to regret this?
Well, of course you're going to think that.
Yeah. But like knowing and trusting and then realizing like with each day that like everything, you know, works out and it works itself out in the ways it's supposed to.
Yeah.
And once you realize that, it's like, okay, I need to keep listening to that voice.
Wait, I saw like, I don't know what it was. It was on Instagram today, but it was like, worrying really works. 90% of the things I worry about never happen. And I'm like, oh my God, no, literally, it's so true. Yeah, but imagine if you could just like detach from some of those concerns and just realize that even if something terrible happens, like, okay, like you deal with it, you know? And it's just, why have anxiety or why worry about things ahead of them happening?
Yeah.
And yeah, I think I've been in my detachment real heavy lately, actually. Like just very like, well, kind of we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Well, I mean, it makes sense to go over like the laws of detachment, which
totally.
It's
loves the wit.
Allowing people to be who they are, right?
This is a toughie.
Stop trying to fix people.
Or like,
that's one.
Stop having, you have a perception, not you, we often have a perception of who we think someone is or who we think someone should be because that is who we've made them up to be in our heads.
Yep.
And then when they are not that person, why are we shocked? Yeah. But we should just let them be that person. Yeah. Just like detach from whatever reality you've created, whatever person you've created them to be, and just let them be.
Yeah. I remember my therapist and also Heather being like, he was never going to be that guy for you. And you knew that. But like you were just hoping that he was going to be that guy. Because like that's what you needed in him. But like that's not who he is. And that's okay. There was nothing wrong with him per se at all. Like he just is not the guy for you right now.
You just want to like hold on.
And you want to just be like, but you can though. Yeah. But like in a healthy way. Right. Listen, him versus like, you know, rebound situations that I'm trying to fix.
Some other people. Yeah.
In an unhealthy way, and you know, trying to have them live up to their potential when they're showing you who they are over and over again.
Right.
And that's not who they're showing up as.
Right.
And you just keep thinking that and keep thinking that. And I think that's like a huge thing. And it's hard for us to accept because it's all about control, right? And not getting hurt.
Yeah.
But we literally are just emotionally wrecking ourselves.
Right.
Yeah. By like continuing to think they're going to change.
Well, right. And also, how unfair is it to the other person?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
To like
totally
just keep having these expectations of them. And it's just like, well, fuck, that's like not who I am though. And that's not fair. And so I think that, it's if a person is not who you think they are and you're not down for that, then like, I honestly think the best thing to do is let them go.
Yeah. Yeah. I think with my ex, it was like, I would have done that. I would have been anything you wanted me to be. And I'm like, but I don't want you to do that.
Right.
Like, I want you to be who you are right now.
Right.
Because we tried that. Like, a couple years prior, I was like, all right, I need you to do this, this, and this. If this is going to continue to work. When I did do that, like mid-breakup. And, you know, it lightly changed. And then we went right back. And I'm like, it's just not who you are.
Right.
And also, you know, I can say I set up things a certain way, but it's just like, sometimes that's how it is. And I think letting go of that control is difficult.
Yeah. And just like.
And you're just kind of shooting yourself in the foot every single time.
Mm-hmm. And then they become resentful because you have made this ideal version of them who's not who they are. Like, it's just a very difficult cycle to start getting into. So,
And also,
you just let go and you say, be who you are. And I'll love you and maybe not.
I can fix him. No, really, I can. That's a Taylor Swift song on her new album.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that whole album is like
I haven't
like my whole breakdown.
Oh yeah,
up until now.
Okay,
yeah,
I will.
We can dive into music at some point. We'll do a whole music episode, maybe.
We'll invite Casey Musgraves on. And Adele. And all the girls.
And Kelsey Ballerini.
Star-studded episode.
Allow yourself to be who you are. So, again, I think at the beginning of my relationship and marriage, I was one person, as we usually are, and then we change to someone else. And letting go of that old version of yourself and actually like embracing this new version and allowing yourself to be that person is so much easier said than done.
I am in the midst.
Yeah.
And oh man, yeah, it's weird. It's weird because you kind of morph into that other person.
Yeah, in certain ways.
I feel like I did. Yeah. And like we've discussed like how intense our codependency was, but like who I was in that relationship was partially who he wanted me to be, whether he, will say that or not, but who he wanted me to be, who he needed me to be, like what purpose I served in that relationship. And I definitely was not like my full biggest self. Like I have realized like I'm a lot. It's a lot of person.
It's a lot of person.
It's a lot of person.
Yeah, we
so
tend
much
to
more
do
than
that.
I was. And I'm like, oh my God, this girl's crazy, but like
you're not.
Not crazy, but like so big
personality
all the time. And I fucking love it.
Yeah, that's what makes you lovable.
Not that I mean, I probably was with you because like girlfriends, but like I just feel like I'm like so big now.
Yeah.
And I was not that person. So like, I'm like finally letting myself be this person and like not being embarrassed of it.
No, it's so true. I feel like I remember thinking, or someone had said to me, like, think about yourself with your like best friend, like how you can absolutely act with your best girlfriend, like laugh hysterically, say whatever you feel.
Yeah.
I don't think I was doing that with my past relationship. Like I wasn't like, I don't know. We weren't fully belly laughing together. We weren't like being like this couple that I had anticipated to be. And I think it's just because we weren't compatible anymore in my situation, in certain aspects. But it's interesting. Like I think about even being around you or like Vinny. Like I just feel like I'm always just like my absolute self and like
very authentic,
laughing. Like you know me in and out, and I also want that in a partner and someone who I also, in addition to that, want to have sex with. Obviously not with you or with Vinny. Love you, babe. But that would be the difference, as we all know.
No, I think it's interesting because in a partner, I want a best friend.
Yeah, but I feel like we all do, though.
Some people don't.
What do they want? Just like
I don't know.
A companion?
Know. I don't know, but like I am expecting a bestie.
Same. I think that's...
I want a belly laugh and I want to be my very authentic self. The only times that I'm not sure if I'm ready to fully be myself is like, I don't think I will ever fart in front of a partner. Or like...
Why do I still laugh like a child when you say the word fart?
Or like... Oh, I just had this conversation with somebody. What if you like go on vacation with a new partner and like, where am I going to poop?
Yeah. Yeah, I've thought about that.
I don't know that I'll ever, like, if we'll ever be besties in that way, which this is also crazy because I'm a nurse. I shouldn't care at all.
Oh my God, no. But again, there's still that little line that you don't want to cross because when you cross that line, it gets into another phase and then you're like, do we let go of, or like then too, like don't, like, do we just go into this like free flowing, like we're farting? No.
Now we're farting and now we're farting.
And we like want to keep that sweet little like, oh my God.
Yeah,
like,
I want you to like think I always smell good. And
yeah.
I'm always cute.
But it also is so special when you are able to be comfortable. Not to say that like we want to voluntarily do those things in front of each other, but if it's like that Sex and the City episode where Carrie just like lets one out and she didn't mean to.
Oh my God, I just watched that one.
Mortified, did you?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my God, he's never going to talk to me again. I farted. And like, he just thought it was like the funniest, most endearing thing at the end of the day.
But that's actually very liberating. And talk about detachment. Like, because you think that you do something so silly that's actually completely out of your control.
Sometimes
you know how nervous I get that I'm going to fart in my sleep?
Oh.
Terrified. Terrified.
Yeah.
I'll stay up all night.
I will have my stomach rumble
I will
all
stay
night
up
long.
all night. I will take Gas X and stay up all goddamn night.
Roll side to side.
To not have that happen because you're like, oh my God, this is so disgusting and they're going to leave me and they're never going to want to see me again. And then that doesn't happen and you could have avoided all of that. And also you could have just detached from that and been like, it's actually fine.
Yeah. Well.
I ran about farting. Oops.
I think this is the second episode we talk about farting.
It was an accident.
Whatever. The people love that.
No, I mean, that's real as fuck. Like, oh God.
Don't force situations. That's number 3.
So, yeah.
That's just clear. I mean, I think if the more we try and force a situation, the less it's going to happen. So we just need to let things go and we need to, believe that what's meant for you won't pass you.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a lot of situations. Like, it's like I do think about it with my ex, but then like rebound situations, even more so. It's like, you become that anxious attachment with the avoidant attachment and you just want to keep
a little toxic pairing.
Yeah. That's usually what happens. And you just want to like make this work because like you're all about it and they're just not it for you at that moment.
Yeah.
And like realizing that you gotta let that go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really interesting now in looking back or just even in like reflecting on like how I will likely be in new relationships. Like if you don't want me, if you are even one toe out the door, see you later.
Yeah. I wish I could say I acted that way right out the gate. So I'm really proud of you if you're already feeling that way. No, truly. I think it's real to talk about that.
I don't want to force anybody to stay. Like I would never want to force someone to be with me. And that's why I think it's just so interesting when people like women want to fight for their man. Like,
oh yeah,
fight for them. But like, if they're leaving, just let them leave. Like, I don't know. I just can't imagine begging someone to stay. And I even told my ex, like, I'm not, when we were in therapy and stuff, before we decided to like ultimately get divorced, like I was like, I'm not going to beg you to stay. I'm not going to beg anybody to stay.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to beg you to say nice things to me and like act however you feel. And that's what I'm going to go based on. But I just, forcing situations ain't it.
Yeah. I'm never going to beg. I've never begged.
No.
I will say that for sure. But it was definitely like right out the gate, it was me continuing habits of not practicing detachment.
It's hard.
Like
it's really
literally just like trying to have someone show up for me again who can't and is showing me over and over again that they cannot.
Yeah.
And me trying to hang on to that for dear life. And I at the moment was like, why am I doing that? Like I know I don't deserve this.
Yeah. That's interesting.
And that, went on for a very long time. But we do that sometimes. I know it's very, very common.
I think that
we call a situationship. In this world, apparently. That's like the new term.
Situationship?
Yeah. Fuck that word. Honestly.
Oh my God. Honestly,
I will vow I'm never going to be in one of those ever.
A situationship?
Never. I'm done. I did my one stint and I'm done with that. If you, like you said, if you want to be with me and I want to be with you, no games, we're doing it. I'm not doing like, we're either dating like normal people dating.
Yeah.
And you show up, I show up, or nothing.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, I agree.
Like I put myself through hell and back. So I'm good.
Also, like
all set.
I'm all set, babe. If you're one toe out the door,
I'm 7 to 10 toes out the door. Yeah. So I don't know why 7, but yeah.
And I also think it's interesting, like, don't force situations, like talking about fighting for people. I'm not going to fight other girls for you either.
I would never.
Like, if you have a roster, take me off.
Fuck a roster. Seriously. How do people have the time?
I don't know.
Literally. I don't get it.
I think that when I was like really trying, like immediately after everything, and like when I like hadn't dated or even like talked to men for whatever, 12 years or whatever.
I was literally thinking about that this morning.
I built up like a mini roster, just of a couple gentlemen I wanted to talk to and like get emotional stuff from. But like to carry a serious roster where you like date all of the people.
Well, that's what I mean. I think dating, I think there's a difference between like dating people and like a few people at once, but like intentionally dating them to see if you like them. And then you're like, okay, that one's not it. That one's not it. Maybe this one's it. But to keep up with like 3 to 5 people,
5,
that's a crazy number. Like weekly, asking each of them how their day is. I'm good.
Oh my God.
No thanks.
I am booked and busy as hell. I just never.
So yeah, if there's one that's really good, then we're focusing on that, and that's it.
Yeah,
I
can't. I don't know how people.
That's intentional dating to me.
Yeah.
So, but that's a whole other topic, you know. We'll dive right in.
Roster is different topic.
Yeah, you know. But next is solutions will emerge. So the things you want will happen when you learn to detach. Like solutions will happen. Like things will show themselves the way they're supposed to show themselves once you learn to detach.
I think that once you're not focusing so much energy on trying to make situations work that aren't meant to be and aren't working, once you release that energy, you can focus on the things that are actually meant for you. Yeah. And those things will flow to you so much easier because you're not like spinning your wheels in other capacities.
It is like so true. As soon as you release your energy from that situation, things just open up. The doors open up.
It's insane.
The floodgates open in the best way.
Yeah. Like once you believe in your power and believe that things are going to be okay and you detach from things that feel icky and just like, aren't serving you and that the little voices telling you are not good for you. Once you detach from those things, baby, the universe will shower you.
No, seriously.
Like it's actually insane. And I know that like that will sound very woo-woo to some people, but try it. Because
it's true. And you know what's not working for you. You know what's not like working for you right now. And as soon as you do that, it's like, oh, this is what it could be like. Or this is what life can be.
That didn't work.
This is exactly why that didn't work.
Yeah.
And that's the best day.
Yeah.
When that happens, you're like, oh, this is why.
When that happens, that shit is so cool.
It really is.
I love that.
And it happened with it happened with my marriage and when I ended that and like seeing my life opened up so much, like especially like connecting with other women who've been through it and having experiences because of connecting with those women who were also going through divorce. Like I remember just saying like, how am I in a chateau in France right now doing hair and like modeling on the Seine? Like what? I was like,
we have to talk about how that happened, but that'll be in our
it was just like, I remember like cheersing with my mom and I'm like, we wouldn't be here right now, baby, if this, I didn't decide to like listen to that voice. And
I just have chills. Oh my God.
Yeah, like making those connections. And it does. Life opens up and I'm seeing that again now as well, with, choosing, deciding to finally let go of something that wasn't really serving me at all for a while. So, yeah.
Yeah, you open new channels when you let old ones go.
You tap right in, baby.
Tap right in, baby.
Uncertainty is reality.
Period.
So final thought is you got to embrace it. You got to embrace the messy shit and you have to embrace all the things that come along with making the decision to not be in control.
You just got to like go through stuff because you're going to go through stuff whether you are trying to control it or not. Stuff's going to happen either way and you can be really anxious about it and you can be really controlling about it or you can just be like, oh, and handle it.
What you can control is your mindset and your reaction.
Yeah.
And how you handle it, really, from there on. But
definitely.
When we're trying to detach and we're trying to actually practice attachment, we end up distracting ourselves a lot. We either go out, we're partying, we're drinking, we're spending money that we shouldn't be spending, we're rebounding, we're hooking up, we're doing things to just completely, again, find that dopamine rush, instead of really looking inward and sitting with that shit, as we like to say.
You gotta sit with it.
You gotta sit with it in order to fully detach, so then you can actually fully move forward in life.
Right. Yeah. It is hard though, and it's really easy to start distracting yourself, and it's really easy to not do the work. But I also think it's really important to, when you I have found myself recently doing this. Like when I see that I'm doing the work, I'm like, babe, you're doing the work. Like I think it's really important to acknowledge the work because it is so easy to get distracted.
It is. But as we mentioned too, like distractions are like have a negative connotation to it. And it's like, but to be honest, I learned a lot from certain scenarios that I put myself in.
Yeah.
And distracting myself. And I learned a lot. I feel like I had to go through them to actually get where I am now.
Yeah.
You might be currently experiencing them, or you did, or because again, yours is much newer than me, but I feel like it was necessary.
Yeah, I think I definitely did a ton of distraction, and I've been talking to my therapist about it and like trying to really not do that.
Yeah.
Because all you're doing is pushing off the work that you have to do.
Absolutely.
And again, like some distraction is good and some distraction is healthy. Hanging out with friends, you know, working out to a certain degree, like spending time with my dog, like that's all healthy distraction, you know, but when it's like shopping a ton. I love shopping. I loved shopping when I wasn't healing. It is 10 times worse shopping. Now. Yeah.
It's a great way to heal.
Retail therapy.
That's why they call it
so
that.
Real.
Let's be honest.
But yeah, I think it's really easy to start getting distracted, which is why I think it's really important to acknowledge when you are sitting with your shit and you are, you know.
It's tough out here sometimes. But yeah, I think that wraps up.
I think, yeah.
That's Detachment, folks. Stay safe out there, people.
All right, girlies.
Keep it cute.
Thanks for chatting about Detachment with us.
Love you.
Love you, babes.
Mwah.
The bloops.
The bloops.
The bloops. Oh my god, fucking ponytail. I forgot we were recording and I started eating a cheese ball.
Okay, well. Pony, you little piece. It's so cute. Why am I sitting like this?
Fucking stance, baby.
Nothing is certain in life. That's a sound bite.